Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Art, Money, Success podcast. I am Maria Brophy, your hostess, and today I'm doing this podcast live, and I'm bringing on a guest. And this guest is an artist that recently needed $10,000 really, really bad, and we'll get into why. And he managed to, in 4 days, sell almost $11,000 worth of art online, and he doesn't even have a website. So I'm going to introduce Oliver to you, but before I bring him on and before we drill him on how he did this, I want to ask all of you, whoever's here on here live with us, leave a comment and tell me where you are right now in the world. Where are you right now? Leave me a comment. I would love to know where everybody's joining from. And, okay, so the reason I want to talk to Oliver about this, and by the way, Oliver and I have done a lot of videos together, and what I love getting from him is a piece of the art business that I myself haven't totally figured out the strategy yet, and Oliver has figured it out, and that's selling art online through Facebook and social media without having a website. But there's more to it than just strategy. There is motivation behind needing money for a particular reason and taking the energy of that and basically being able to move mountains. So we're going to go into that in a second. I know I'm being a little cryptic here, but if you pay attention to what we talk about, I'm going to tell you this is going to change things for you. Now, this is only if you pay attention to what we talk about and you really hear what we're saying. So just be open-minded. Here we are. Painted Turk is visiting us from Orlando, Florida. And Martha is in Panama. Oh, my heart is in Panama. I love Panama. Craig is in Alabama. We got Paula from Washington. We've got T. Ellers from Ontario, Oregon. Kelsey from England. All right, we got a lot of people from all over the world. Los Angeles. Sylvia from our mastermind, hailing from Canada near Vancouver, another one of my favorite places in the world. Brad is in Nashville. Brad, good to see you. Okay, so one other thing I want to say before I bring Oliver on and properly introduce him is I watched a video on Instagram. Yeah, I get all of my motivational stuff from Instagram, but from a guy named Jermaine. I can't remember his name right now, sorry. But he did this great video where he talked about you become the sum total of who you spend most of your time with. And this is something I taught my son at a very young age. I'm like, son, if you want good things to happen in your life, hang out with people who are doing cool stuff. Hang out with people who are successful. Hang out with people who are doing the things that you dream of doing. And if you can't hang out with those people, listen to their podcasts, read their books, join their masterminds. Like, just surround yourself with these people. Because who you are and who you are becoming dictates your income, your joy level, the amount of love that comes into your life, and just basically just living the life that you want to live, whatever that is. And the reason for this is not just because hanging out or listening to those people gives you ideas for strategy and things, but also you pick up on the language and the words and the phrases that they use. And you will find that highly successful people or people that are really good at certain things, they use different language and different words, and they speak a little differently than everyone else. And you want to pick up on that because a lot of wisdom and invisible energy that directs who you are and who you're becoming comes from that. So And then there's a lot of belief too, because if you spend time with people who are doing what you only dream of doing, you start to believe that you can do it also. All right, so enough of my dribble. I am going to bring on Oliver, and welcome, Oliver. Thanks for being here.
Hello, so excited to be here. Thank you, Maria.
And
Great intro.
before we jump in, all right, I'm gonna rapid fire a few questions. Where are you in the world right now?
Right now, I'm in Bulgaria, but originally from Switzerland.
Okay, so you are in Sofia,
Sofia,
Bulgaria, right?
Bulgaria. Yeah, yeah.
That's on my list of places to visit. And for everybody who doesn't know, I am in San Clemente, California. So we are pretty far on opposite ends of the world. Okay, now I want to dig into how you sold almost $11,000 in art in only 4 days with no website. But before we dive into like the strategy and all that, I I want you to tell everybody, why did you need $10,000 really, really bad and really, really fast?
So yeah, I wanted to get a coach. So I was looking for coaches and talk to different people, and there were some people that said 12K, 15K, like big numbers, and I'm like, I don't have all this money now sitting on my account ready to spend for a coach. But then there was one coach that really inspired me. And after talking to him, something shifted in me and I made the decision. So after talking to him, I said, like, I need this money. And it was 10,000 USD to invest in this coach so I can get to the next level. That's why I needed it. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to stop there for a second. I love this because sometimes if we don't need anything, we get a little too comfortable. Needing money tends to light a fire under your booty, which is good. My husband, going back when Drew and I started working together selling his art back in the late 90s, Drew would say to me, Maria, just tell me how much money you need to pay the bills and I'll make it. I'm like, what? It's that simple? Okay, make me $1 million. He's like, no, really, like, how much do you need, Maria? And I remember, like, when I first got this concept, granted, this was late 90s and we needed like $4,000 for something. I'm like, we need this money. Well, sure enough, like he figured out how to paint paintings and he made a couple phone calls and he kind of did what you did, but that was like pre-social media days. But it's that concept of like, okay, let's see, I have a dollar amount and I have a deadline. And for you, the deadline was ASAP. So then what do you do next? And before you answer, I just want to invite everybody who's on with us. Please ask any question in the comments, any question at all. No question is off limits. And what did your teacher used to tell you? You're good teachers. No question is a dumb question. So yeah, I want questions for both myself and Oliver. And I actually didn't properly introduce you, I just realized. So let me do that. For those of you who don't know, Oliver and I met in 2019. He signed up to do artist coaching with me. He was looking to go full-time as an artist. I helped him a little bit. I got to say, I can take a little bit of credit. He did most of it on his own because he's highly motivated. And then we kept in touch over the years. And then nearly about a year ago, we started a artist mastermind group together. And we have this paid mastermind group where we work directly with artists. And by the way, there is a link to it in the show notes. And also, if you're on here live, in the comments. Okay, so that was just my quickie intro. But now, back to you. Okay, so you need this $10,000. What do you do next?
So yeah, the first thing is like the decision. That was very important, right? Because I talked to coaches before, but I haven't made the decision. It was just like, oh, that's too much money. Yeah, I would be so nice to have a coach. It would get me to the next level, but that's too much money. That was kind of the mindset. After talking to this guy, I made the decision. The next thing that I did, and it's so funny because the decision, I would say, is 90%, if not more, of the whole equation. It's like, because it was this, it's done decision. It's not, there's no back and forth, no doubt, no procrastination, no distraction. That's this kind of decision. So what I did is, like, I was looking at all possibilities. Because my goal was very clear. I want to have a coach. So I was even honestly considering, like, getting money from somewhere, someone helping me out, because I knew exactly what I wanted. And yeah, and so I was looking at all these possibilities that I had. And of course, like, I could sell some art, I could ask someone. So I started reaching out, right? So I took
Let's
action.
stop there. Can we stop there for just a second? Because I think I want to go back to the word decision. How many of you listening right now, and I would love to see some comments from some of you, either are really great at making decisions or sometimes you have a hard time making decisions. But the thing is, when you make a decision to do something, whether it's to spend a lot of money on a coach or to take a class or to travel around the world, a lot of people say, well, I'll do it when I have the money. That's not a decision. That's wishy-washy. So you never have the money, right? Or I'll do it when I get a babysitter, for those of you who have a bunch of kids. Well, that's not a decision either. A decision looks like this. I want to travel around the world and I want to do it in 8 months. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it or how I'm going to take off of work or how I'm going to do it. But the first thing I'm going to do, I made the decision. So now I'm going to buy the round the world plane ticket. That's what the decision looks like. And then you've got 8 months to figure all that stuff out, as an example. But I think that's really important, is a decision is, I'm doing this no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's, yeah. It's, I think many artists, they also need to decide, like, do I actually want to do this? Do I want to be full-time? Because back to my story, when I became full-time, it was again a decision. It was a decision that I am an artist, not just any artist, but a successful artist. So I made this decision. And that's also when things started working out. Because I think when we don't decide, we are all over the place. And we don't take really action because maybe we don't want it bad enough. That's most of the time, it's that we don't want it bad enough, right? Or we have some fear out.
Or you're playing it safe. So Brad just left a
Yeah.
really great comment. He said, I spent ages making a decision and then go with my gut in the end. I was better at making big decisions when I was young and naive. Now I'm 40 something who plays it safe. Well, there is something to be said about being young and naive. Or let's just drop the young part. How about just making a decision based on your gut, based on something you really want, even though it's taking a risk? Because playing it safe doesn't get you off the couch, does it? It doesn't make your life more interesting, and it doesn't help you to become that which you want to become.
100%. It's like, yeah, so like that's why I think sometimes we need to have a, Napoleon Hill calls it a burning desire. And I really like that. That's not like, it's not a desperate need. It's a burning desire, something that inspires you, something that you truly, truly want, but not out of desperation, out of inspiration, because it like, you just want it. You can already see how this decision, or whatever you want, would change your life, right? So that because I was, to be honest, I was also a bit comfortable, right? As I said, I talked to coaches, I already had it in my mind, but nothing was moving forward. But after I did the decision, 4 days later, I had the money. Right? That's the
Okay, so you made the, yes,
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, T. Eller said, I feel I'm a good decision maker, but family and those around me are not always easy to convince for follow through. And that is why You have to spend a lot more time with people who are doing great things, with people who are doing the things that you want to do, that you dream of doing, that you want to believe that you can do also. And so that you want to be surrounded with more people where their voices are going to drown out the voices of the other people. So, yes. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I appreciate all of you sharing this because when you share these things in the comments, it helps everybody listening because everybody goes through this. Do you have any naysayers in your life, Oliver? Like, do you have anyone that tells you you're crazy for spending $10,000 on a coach? You're nuts. What are you doing?
I'm just, I think I didn't tell it to many people. All the people that are my close circle, like my girlfriend, brother, mom, all these people, very supportive. They believe in me. My brother encouraged me a lot. He's like, in the end, I needed to decide which coach I take now because this one coach inspired me, but I talked to so many, and my brother really supported me. He's like, if you got the money because of this one, I think you should go with him. Like trust your gut, and he's like, yeah, do it. He's like, he totally believes in me. So, but I created this in a way, right? I showed my family when they didn't believe in me what I can do. I believed in myself, and now friends around me, they I don't really have naysayers anymore. I had that in the past, but I did, I created this. Yeah.
My God, we're hitting on so many good things. Okay, everybody listening, this is another powerful, incredibly powerful point. What Oliver just said, I wish I could rewind. Basically, he no longer has naysayers in his life. That's changed. Just the other day, I talked to an artist that is, oh, it's so sad. He's like suicidal. Everybody in his life is against what he's doing, even though he's incredibly talented and he's a full-time artist and has been for quite a few years. I love this man. I am so hurting for him. And I tried to explain to him, you can change who is in your life surrounding you. Right now, you're surrounded by all these negative people who are pulling you down. It starts with a decision, and the decision goes like this. I am going to surround myself with people who support me and lift me up. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And you start looking for new friends, new groups of people to surround yourself with. You join masterminds like our mastermind or any mastermind. I don't care who it is. Any group where people are uplifting and encouraging. And that's where it begins. I want to shout out to Sylvia, who left a comment saying that she's usually slow at decision making, but once she makes a firm decision, she sticks to it and focuses with determination. Sylvia's a mastermind member, and we've watched you just do amazing things, Sylvia. And I'm so glad you're here today. And by the way, it's where you show up too. Like, I noticed that the members of our group that show up for every live event we do, they're the ones who are getting the best results. So do you have any thoughts on how someone can start to, okay, you can't change your family, but how can you change the people in your life, the majority of them from negative to positive? Like, do you have like maybe one or two suggestions? And then we'll move on to the next point of how you made all that money in 4 days.
Okay. Yeah, actually I can. It's like there's something called the first order change, which most people, they're like, oh, my family is against me, my friends are negative. They try to change people. They try to convince them what I'm doing is right. And they try to prove they are fighting to be heard and seen for what they do. This never works, but you try to change them. You try to get them to see something that they just don't. The second order change is you change yourself. And that works every single time, right? And that changing yourself truly from the internal means like even thinking like, why am I around these people? Like why do I spend my time defending myself, or still why am I still with them even though they don't truly believe in my dreams and they're not supporting me? You need to see what you can do, right? Sometimes it's like healthy boundaries, like don't just share everything with anyone. Like, I'm very careful what I share. With my closer people that support me, I share everything, every dream, every goal. But I don't just share it with people that I already know they're not there yet. They're like kind of on a different level. I'm not sharing these things, right? So like, change yourself, you become a better person. And if you cannot get around these people, listen to audiobooks, trainings, stream masterminds, get around, do what you can right now, because online you can meet these people right now, today, right? Spend more time with them, even if they're online, and give your time less to the people that don't support you. It's actually pretty simple. And then many of us, we need to go through a period where we maybe feel this vacuum, like we are feeling a little bit lonely because we are going away from the people that are pulling us
Yeah.
down. And many don't want to go through that loneliness, but it's extremely important. And this is actually like healthy self-respect and self-love, right? You choose who you spend your time with. And if these people around you right now cannot support you, then you're okay being with yourself, right? And maybe you need that also sometimes to actually become your own supporter, right? Because maybe you're not really supporting yourself in your mind, right? Your self-talk. So yeah, these are some things that I would do. And now I did this whole process, right? I was for a time very alone because I was with very negative people, very, like, they were thinking so low, bad influence. Then was for a period alone, but I worked on myself, right? I was reading books, audiobooks, going to the gym, doing everything that I can do to get myself to another level. And at one point, I naturally started attracting people that were thinking the same things. They were reading the same books. Like, it's, if you level up, you start attracting these people, or you get ideas where you could go to meet them, right? So yeah.
There's so many nuggets in there. Okay, this is another place I have to stop. I want everyone to pay attention to this. Okay. So first of all, don't try to change the people around you. That was the first point Oliver made. Brilliant. Don't try to change them because you can't. It just makes you feel bad about yourself. Yeah. Number 2, change yourself. And I'm going to add, become. Keep becoming. Continue expanding into the person you want to become in every way. Regardless of the other people, even if they're family members, you can love them, but spend less time with them. I have family members that I absolutely love. I spend very little time with them. I remember their birthdays. I send them texts. I send them love. But I really limit my time because they are so negative. They pull me down. I'm never going to change them. Number 3, ask yourself these questions. Why am I comfortable with these people? Now, I use my own phrase, my own verbiage, but that's basically what you said, Oliver. Ask yourself, why are you okay with these people? Well, I'll tell you why. We are comfortable with what we know. Setting boundaries, creating space between yourself and people who are not healthy for you is hard at first because it doesn't feel comfortable. It's not what we know. You have to work through the discomfort. And let's see. And then setting boundaries. Okay. And then there's the last piece here. And this is really important. When you're making big positive changes in your life, in your art business, in anything, you will go through a period of feeling uncomfortable. And in this case, dealing with people feeling lonely. And this is what my friend, who I'm not going to name, who's really going through a hard time right now, it's super depressed. He's distancing himself from all these people who are bad from him. And he's so lonely. He feels so alone. And that's why I've been reaching out to him. And I'm saying, you're not alone. I'm here for you. Drew's here for you, even though he lives far away. We are here. We're a phone call away. I want to support him. I do not want to see him give up. And you have to get through that difficult period. But once you do, once you get on the other side of it, oh my God, everything good starts to happen. All of a sudden, life is great and, it just feels good. Um, and I want to play a song that makes me think. There's this, okay, let me just play this real quick.
Let's begin now. I woke up this morning.
Okay, I won't play the whole song, but like that's like you will wake up feeling like that once you get rid of all that negative crap out of your life, and when you're feeling down and misunderstood and depressed, you actually hate people who are happy. Oliver, there's probably people out there that do not like you and me because we appear to always be happy. Now, granted, I have my bad days. I do. I just don't throw it out there. But yeah, because it's uncomfortable. So, okay. So let's move on to the next. Sorry, I keep jumping in, but I just don't want to miss these nuggets of wisdom that you have.
Thank you.
So, next step here. So you made the decision. You've already surrounded yourself with great people. You need the money because you're going to spend $10,000 on a coach. What did you do next? Once you knew you needed to make 10 grand, did you give yourself a deadline?
No, that's another thing. It's like I didn't. It was like this decision. It's done. It's done. It doesn't matter when, because it's already done. It's coming, and I had this feeling it's come. It will, like, I will get the money in the right time. But I wanted it ASAP, right? Like as soon as possible. So I acted like this, but I didn't put unnecessary pressure on me by saying like it needs to be then. But it probably would have worked too. But for me, I just no timeline, as soon as possible. And then I just reached out to, like, actually, I didn't even reach out to many people. That's the funny thing. I had this experience so many times in my life. When I made a decision, I worked less. I did way less, and I got the money. Like my first 30,000 month, I think I had like, I don't know. I worked so little. But one person suddenly sees a post, says like, I want to buy this. We jump on a call the next day. She spent 6,000. And then that was when the person bought the painting for 24,000. Like literally when I make these decisions, it's also so effortless. It's really weird. But I had this experience many
It's
times.
like
So I think I reached out to,
you're energetically in alignment. Like you make the decision, you're like, okay, now I'm going to go after the money. I'm going to go after the sale. And then it's like everything's lined up for you and energetically. So what's going on in your head and in your belief system? Do you listen to anything to pump yourself up, to get you to believe before you reach out to people?
That's actually a good question, because before I started listening to affirmations, and I visualized myself having like a lot of money and what I'm going to do with the money. So all the things that I want to do: get a nice apartment, travel all around the world, buying this camera, these clothes. I visualize this every single day, and this really pumped me up. And the thing is, it's not like listening to a song that pumps me up for 5 minutes or like for a few minutes and then I do work. It's more like I program myself over, it was roughly 30 days. I did these visualizations plus affirmations, and then I felt this compound effect. It's like the more I did it, the more I got pumped. So every day my energy started kind of increasing. And I think that's why after I talked to this guy, I made the decision, because I already kind of mentally and emotionally prepared myself, right? I got myself in this high frequency through the visualization and the affirmations. Then I talked to this guy, and I was ready energetically. I was ready to make the decision. So yeah, before I prepared through the inner work. I think that's important to say too, because I think that really, no, I'm actually convinced that was a big part of why this worked. Because mentally I prepared, and it become like, it's almost like, because I saw it in my mind every single day, and with the affirmations I was reminded on that too. It created urgency. It's like
Yeah.
almost like something in me wanted to close the gap. right? And that raised my energy and my everything. Yeah, it got me out of the comfort zone, basically.
So, not a lot, some people
Hmm.
reject the mindset and energy part of art sales. And sometimes I just want to give up on those people. And then I tell myself, no, Maria, you're in this world to help show people what's possible and to show them new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things. And like for me, that's the whole idea behind the mastermind, because I always wanted to join a mastermind. I couldn't find one that taught business strategies in art and at the same time the mindset and the visualizing and the goal setting all together. And that's why you and I created our mastermind, to like put all that stuff together, because I couldn't find another one out there that did it. But people who, I'm just going to say, to those of you listening, if you poo-poo the idea of listening to affirmations and programming yourself, you're missing out. And I'm going to say that skeptics are rarely successful. Now, you can be skeptical. I'm skeptical of a lot of things, but I'm still always curious and I still always check things out. So you can be skeptical, but don't say no way, because when you limit yourself by saying a hard no to new ways of doing things, you've just kept yourself in a box. So I'm going to reiterate what you just said. So you prepared by doing the inner work, and you used the word program. You programmed yourself for 30 days by listening to affirmations and by visualizing the outcome. And the outcome is not just selling the art and collecting the money, but it's you out there living your life, all the things that you want to do when you're making the money. And by doing that, you increased your energy, your frequency. Now, why is that important? Can you just answer that question in 1 or 2 sentences? Why is it important to increase your energy and the frequency within your body?
Because like I need to see how I explained it in 1 2 sentences, but it's like, you know, when you feel low and you're kind of lazy, or your mind is full of doubt and that this doesn't work and it's not working, how should this work, people don't buy art, I mean, you already, like, your whole energy is like, how do you reach out to someone or to people and inspire them to buy something from you? You know, like, just, it's very simply explained, right? So but high energy, yeah,
Inspire. How can you inspire someone when you are not inspired yourself? You can't.
Yeah.
You cannot. So if you want more love in the world, you got to give love, right? If you want more money, you got to give money away. This is my mantra. Well, I'm just adding a third piece to that. If you want to inspire people, you have to be inspired. So, yes, it's so simple. So simple. So T. Eller said, negative programming is everywhere. To say yes to positive programs should be a no-brainer. So, Oliver, quick question. How much of the news do you spend time every day watching?
None at all. I don't even know what's happening. My mom sometimes told me, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. I created my own world.
What if there's a war in your backyard? What if all of a sudden Bulgaria is burning down to the ground? How are you going to know?
I mean, first of all, I probably will know, you know, somebody will tell me if I really need to know it. And and at the same time, I trust, you know, that I'm taken care of. I'm living in a friendly universe. I'm safe. You know, like, I'm not afraid of anything like that. So, yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, and I was making a point there because watching TV or the news or any news channel, I don't care where you get it, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it is called programming for a reason, because it programs you, and it's always negative. It's never positive. So if you want to stay in a negative box, keep watching the news. But if you want to break out of it, turn that news off and listen to people who are doing great things, who inspire you.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
a
think
lot of people are leaving comments saying they don't watch it. Elizabeth said, toxic AF.
yeah,
Paula disconnected from the news. Elizabeth said the same. Yeah. Sylvia doesn't watch the news. So, and I know a lot of these people leaving comments, and they are members of the mastermind. And look, you become what you surround yourself around. So I want to dig into more strategy, okay? Because we didn't go into, now we don't have to go into all your secrets because we do a lot of that in the mastermind. But when you said you reached out to a number of people with your art, now you don't have a website. So what do you have? You have Facebook and you have Instagram, right? Anything else?
in WhatsApp.
And okay, Facebook,
Yeah, I have
Instagram. WhatsApp's more like but it's
for
not social
collectors.
media. It's more like a. So how many people do you have as a collector on your WhatsApp?
I don't know the exact number, but maybe 20.
Okay, so that's not a lot of people.
Yeah,
But so the two people. So you sold two paintings, right?
to one person.
Oh, one person. So the person who bought, but wow. So did they see it on Facebook? How'd they find it?
So that's a cool thing. Like in the beginning, I was just like, I was taking inspired action. So it wasn't really like thinking much. It just was in this amazing space. So I reached out to maybe 3, 4 people. And I think just like one of my collectors, and that's another thing. It's really cool if you have collectors, because all of my collectors, they spend a lot of money. Right? So that's why I didn't need to sell that many paintings, and they used to spending a lot of money. So I reached out to this one collector, and I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I'll reach out to every single one of them, right? Because obviously, like it's easier and faster to sell to someone that already bought. So that's what I wanted to do first. I already knew like
Yeah.
I will do more stuff. I was ready to do whatever it takes. And I was a bit afraid, to be honest. Like I was a bit afraid to reach out because I wanted to be honest and authentic, because I feel it just feels better to me. Like because that it made sense for me to reach out to her with the mission that I need a coach. So I told her everything about it. And she's like, wait a second, do you still have these? She said, like, I love it. Because my collectors, they're like me. There are people that I want to be around. They are super, like she cured cancer. Like with her mindset, without chemotherapy, just like
Wow.
naturally. Can you imagine that? Yeah. So she was like,
That's amazing.
yeah, she's an amazing person, and she was all in with this vision that I had, and this that she felt the energy 1000%. Then she's like, do you still have these paintings? I'm like, yeah, I have them. And she said, what's the price? I'm like, I'll make you a good price because you already bought the painting, and the price was 10,700 for both of them. She's like, I will need to think about it, like sleep over it. I'm like, no worries, because like again, like I have to tell you this. It was insane because there was no desperation, no fear. I knew the money will come. If it's from her or not, it didn't matter. And I think that's why where so many of us get discouraged and give up, because we expect the money to come from this person. This person has to buy my art. But I'm like, I was so detached because I knew it. I knew the money will come. Seriously, like didn't matter how, where, from who, because that's not my job. And so I was super relaxed, no worries at all. The next day, she wrote me that she takes it. And then I think Maria will come back in a moment. So she told me, I take it the next day in the morning. And of course, like there was this sense of excitement, but at the same time, I knew it's gonna happen. I was relaxed. So basically, I made the offer in 3 days, and then the fourth day is when she decided in the morning she's gonna take it, and she immediately transferred the money. She sent me screenshots. She was so in. It was so amazing. And the big lesson from this is lead with a mission as an artist, especially because the thing is, we don't really sell something that people need. And that's not to down, how do you say, downgrade the art. It's not at all. It's just like to understand the market, like why people are buying art, and they buy it because of they want to feel something, they want to be part of something, right? And she now was able to not just buy 2 amazing paintings from an artist that she knows, but she was also able to be part of something greater. Because I told her the whole story, why I want to have a coach, what's my mission, what's my vision with this, and it's going to be amazing, and blah blah blah. And she felt my energy, of course, right? She got excited too, and that's how I did it. So, and I would have done so much more, but again, that happened to me so many times when I'm really aligned, I really know what I want, and I made a decision. I end up doing way less work, but of course my energy is completely different. I do it kind of from a higher frequency. But even if you don't like the word frequency, it's just from I'm at the higher state. I have more energy, more drive, more passion, and people pick up on that. And oftentimes when you're at that level, you do less work and you get more results, right? And most artists, they're stuck because they hold themselves back mentally, right? So that's how I did it. Strategy wise, actually, the first painting she saw was from Facebook, and I've been posting on Facebook on a consistent basis. So people started seeing my art, and when I post on Facebook, I always use inspiring stories every single time. Because again, when we want someone to buy our art, we need to inspire them. And stories are a great way, like personal stories, stories of the artworks. And Maria talks about this too a lot. It's a great way to inspire people to buy something from you, right? So let's, Maria lost the internet. I'm just telling her that I'm here, that I'm talking. Yeah. And so the biggest lesson, and this is what you can take away if you want to sell your art, lead with a mission, right? And it does, like for me, was a coach. It doesn't even matter. That was another lesson that I had. It doesn't even matter what's the mission, to be honest. It's just important that you have a mission, right? And the mission needs to be real for you. That's important. Because if the mission is not real for you, if you're not inspired and fired up with your own mission, it's very unlikely to inspire anyone else. And again, that's why I like to say we need to inspire someone to buy art, because it's not something they need. But if you lead with a mission, if you're inspiring in your own way, right? It doesn't mean you need to copy anyone. It's like we all have a unique story. We all have a unique mission. We all have unique viewpoints, opinions, things we stand for, stand against, right? We all have that. So you cannot be afraid to share this. Right. And by the way, I didn't even post it on Facebook, right? That would be the next step. I was already thinking about the next steps, like reaching out to more people that I have on WhatsApp, because it's the most personal kind of. Then I would go on Facebook and make a post, very inspiring post. Then I would send messages on Facebook, and that's what I would have done. So I was willing to do whatever it takes, and even more. I wouldn't stop till I would make the money. And I'm very grateful that it came so fast with so little effort, actually. And I needed to overcome my fear, though. Like I needed to overcome my fear of what they're thinking. Like, what will she think when I reach out to her? Will it be pushy? I still have these thoughts sometimes, and I know that artists have them a lot. So I needed to just, but again, like I overcame it because I had something that was like bigger than these fears, like this, getting this money to invest in the coach, and having this whole vision, what's going to happen when I invest in the coach and how much I'm going to up level and how my life is going to change. That was bigger than the fear, right? So the fear couldn't stop me anymore. But the thing is, when we are comfortable and we don't have really a big vision, that's what makes us comfortable, right? So not having a vision, not having anything that you work towards, that you care about, right? Your vision needs to be something that you truly care about. And you need to sometimes get specific, right? Like if you say, I want to sell art, I want to make a living from art. How does that look like? What does it look like for you to make a living from your art? How much do you going to earn? What are you going to do with your free time? How, do you travel? What do you buy? All these things, right? So Maria's back.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, your camera is frozen right now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. But your camera is still frozen.
Let's see. Can you hear me,
Now it's
Oliver?
good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Something happened. My internet just went out, so I had to switched to my phone. So what did I miss? Did I miss anything good?
The whole thing.
The whole
I
thing.
was telling the whole strategy. Yeah.
Okay, well, and yeah, so I missed all that. But Oliver, I really
Yeah.
appreciate all your wisdom. It's really amazing.
Mhm.
Um, and I hope you don't mind me telling people how old you are, but you're 30, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, to me, 30 is just a baby because I could be your mother. But um, I mean, it takes people so long to figure this stuff out, and you figured it out at such a young age, and you have so much to teach other people, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I'm so grateful for the relationship you and I have, and that we learn from each other, because it started with
Mhm.
me coaching you, and now I learned so much from you. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate sharing all this with my audience. And because I don't know what I missed while I was booted out by the internet, is there any last words that you want to share? Anything you want to button up, and then we can maybe
Mhm.
talk about our mastermind for a minute.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I want to just say that, like, every artist can make a living from art. And I think we overcomplicate things, right? Because the whole thing is
Yes.
like, I literally reached out to someone I knew. And most of it was also from Facebook, but I never worried about things that most artists are worrying about, right? The website, the Etsy shop. I'm like, I focused, and I think this is a huge thing. I focused on building relationships. That was my main goal. And I knew that, on a website you can sell if you get traffic on there. And for sure it can also work. But I made it my focus to build relationships. And the best way to do that is by actually connecting to people,
Yeah.
sending messages, having conversations, jumping on calls, meeting them. I had a collector, she bought a painting for 9,000. 2 months later, one for 6,500. And I went to her and brought her the art. I made one for her. We kept in touch. She wanted to, get a tea. So, like, creating connections, right? This is so much more
Yeah.
important, in my opinion, than a website or
It's
fancy
the only
Instagram
thing that
profile. Yeah.
connections are the only thing that works. Not the only
Yeah.
thing, but the main thing that works. And I do the same thing when Drew finishes a new painting. Before I release it to the world,
Mhm.
I will contact key collectors and say, hey, I want to give you first dibs on this.
Mhm.
And often we will sell it before we ever put it on the website or put it out on social media, for that
Mhm.
reason. And the other thing is, these people appreciate so much that you thought of them.
Mhm.
So it's not that they're doing you a favor. And a lot of artists think that. They think you're doing them a favor by buying from them. And it's not that. It's they appreciate that you came to them and said, hey, I just finished this painting, or I've got this painting that I think you might love. And there's
Mhm.
so much more we can talk about on this. And I think one of the next things we should talk about,
Mhm.
maybe in a future um, episode, is how to collect art collectors. Because, and go deep into this more, dive into how to connect with how to collect and connect or
Mhm.
connect and collect collectors. Um, do you want
Yeah.
to say a little something about our mastermind before we button this up, and maybe post a link to it? Sorry, I'm making you do two things. I'm just on my phone and I can't do it from my phone for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, give
So
okay.
our
I need to copy the link here because my internet is also so slow when I go on school. Then it slows down. I can try. Wait,
Okay.
I try. Wait. Okay.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll just tell
I-
people it's a monthly mastermind. You join, you pay monthly. We have weekly live meetings where we set goals, we visualize our goals. We Oliver and I do a lot of hand holding with all of our members. And when you click on the link, there's a lot more information. And just so you know, the price that the mastermind's at right now, the mastermind, we do raise the price every time we reach a certain number of members. We raise the price even higher. But once you're in at a price, you're locked in. as long as you stay in. You're locked in at that price for life. Anything else you want to add to that, Oliver?
Yeah, just to say, like we in the community, we teach you all of these things, right? Very important, the mindset. We teach you the mindset and the strategies, because if you combine these two things, extremely powerful, right? And I think most people don't do that. They're like either strategy or mindset. So I'm also teaching my complete Facebook strategy, and I am not holding back anymore. Like I did that in the past, but I realized I don't want to do that. I want to share everything that I learned, because if it can help just like one or two artists, I feel better. You know, I feel good that I can share this knowledge with others, and help out like this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so rewarding. It's so much fun. I love getting all the wins when our mastermind members leave posts and comments in the group that, they sold paintings and they got opportunities for live exhibits and all kinds of things. I mean, it's just so much fun. We do a lot of celebrating. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'd love it. Click the link in the show notes, and we'll do this again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you got a lot out of it, and if you did, hit subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, depending on whatever platform you're listening from. And Oliver, thank you so much for being you and being so open and enthusiastic and for inspiring all of us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you too, Maria. Thank you too. It was
Okay.
great. Thank you so much.
Okay. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.